on Memphis, and I want you to listen to what he had to say.
41 years old. You think I want to do that? Being in Memphis on a random ass Thursday. I'm not like the first guy to even talk about it in the NBA. Like we all like, you guys have to move. Just go over to Nashville. You got Vanderbilt over there. You got the NASCAR. You got a stadium. Don't they got a hockey team too?
Yeah, Predators.
Predators. Yeah. Like they got everything. Their only chance was in 2003 if they had won the lottery to get me there. And I might have pulled a Eli Manning and not showed up.
It's a tough one. Let me first say this about what LeBron James said. And my man Kendrick Perkins somewhat disagreed with me. But the question was asked on First Take whether it was fair or foul for LeBron James to say what he said about Memphis, Tennessee. And I said, it's actually both. Because if you're talking about the Memphis basketball team, while they play at a decent arena known as FedEx Forum, which, by the way, just hosted the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament in 2024 last year. If you're talking about the FedEx Forum, that's a decent arena. If you're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies facilities and the treatment players receive, that's an entirely different argument altogether. LeBron James has been in the NBA for 23 years. He's been the preeminent star in the game for the vast majority of that time. If anybody would know how players are treated in Memphis, he would know. I'm talking about their amenities. I'm talking about the posh and affluent confines of their work environment. Desmond Bane got traded from the Grizzlies to the Orlando Magic, and he said it was heaven. It was a breath of fresh air. He talked about how playing in Memphis, it was like being in a dungeon every day. A gym with no windows and all of this other kind of stuff. He never said a negative word about the great city of Memphis, the people that's there, the fan base that's there, how supportive they are of the team, et cetera, et cetera. He never uttered a negative word. So in that regard, when LeBron James is talking about Memphis, specifically as a basketball player, wanting to play for Memphis, he was not wrong and he was not foul. He was factual because you have players there that want to leave. You have players who have left and have been happy about it, and you have free agents that don't want no parts of going there. But that's about the team and its facilities. When we're talking about the city, it's an entirely different matter altogether. And that's where I come in. I've heard from Mayor Paul Young over the last few months, once or twice, because I was critical of the city of Memphis. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here months later, and I stand by what I said. I ain't backing up. I said Memphis and its politicians needed to get their act together to make sure they do everything they can to fix the city for the marvelous citizens that they have. I did not say that Paul Young wasn't doing his job. He just arrived. He's elected in 2024, if I remember correctly. He just arrived. But I said stuff needed to be cleaned up, because it wasn't ideal. That is what I said. And I stand by that. I talked about its crime rate. I talked about how upscale the city of Nashville is compared to Memphis. And I talked about black citizens in the city of Memphis, okay, that deserve better. Think about that. I'm not backing up from that one bit. Memphis is 63% black last time I checked. And I want my peoples to flourish. I want them to be treated better. I want them to have better everything. And if I think a city is not doing enough, then I'm going to have a problem with that. Now, in fairness to Memphis, These numbers are according to the Memphis Police Department. It's pointing out how it made meaningful progress in the year 2025 toward building a stronger, safer Memphis through focused enforcement, strategic policing, and strong partnerships. According to them, Memphis saw a 27% decrease in overall Part 1 crimes, a 26% decrease in murders, a 22% decrease in aggravated assaults, a 31% decrease in robberies, a 48% decrease in carjackings. This is compared to 2023, just 2 years earlier. Overall crime is down 41%. Violent crime is down 30%. Murders are down 37%. Props to Mayor Paul Young and the job that he's doing. But we also need to understand, and this is very important, that while Memphis is a city that ranks 6th amongst the largest U.S. cities in terms of highest percentage of the black population in 2025, it's very important that we understand that there's a difference in certain categories. Two things can be true. Violent crime could be on the decline in Memphis, as it is, and they could still rank very high among biggest cities in violent crime rate, according to the FBI. You got stuff to clean up. So in that regard, again, we can't throw shade on LeBron until we take into account knowing that 63% of the people there are black, knowing that they need this team to continue to help fuel the economy, the local economy there, as opposed to big up in Nashville and saying, why don't you just go there? Not thinking about the citizens at all. I'm not even telling you that LeBron James can't feel that way. I'm saying to say it so flippantly amongst a bunch of white dudes on a golf course, knowing the cameras are rolling and videoing you without any regard for what kind of effect that would have on a black populace is problematic. Especially when I don't know if it was your sneakers or whatever it was that you just finished promoting months ago about black history and Martin Luther King and civil rights. I think you wore sneakers or something commemorating all of that. When I spoke about what this city needs in order to look out for the vast majority of its citizens who happen to be black that are living there. I did it right here on the mic and the cameras, with the cameras rolling. Dead serious as hell. Because I ain't trying to let nobody off the hook on that. I wasn't dressed in shorts, lollygagging on a golf course with a bunch of peeps that don't look anything like the folks that reside in Memphis. That's where it was foul. That was my take on it earlier this morning. That is still my take on it today. LeBron wasn't all wrong. LeBron said some very wise and on-point things about that. But other stuff was foul, particularly how flippant he was in saying it without any regard to black folks in Memphis. Especially when he's got his I Promise school in Akron, Ohio, specifically designed to help uplift and improve the lives of black individuals and beyond from impoverished neighborhoods